Okay, so I just got back from a midnight screening of Prometheus. I don't usually do midnight screenings, but my schedule's been pretty hectic. This is the only time I could work it in. So yeah, I'm literally just gonna talk about it right after I saw it, so my memory may not be best, but I'll do my best to talk about it and give you a review of it. First of all, I should say that I was one of the people that was not super hyped for this movie. Not that I didn't want to see it, but I didn't get why so many people were so excited. I mean, people were really, really hyped for this, and I didn't quite get it. Because I thought the Alien franchise was pretty old. It was good, but I mean, like Avengers or Batman, I could see. I didn't get this. The only thing I could figure is that I guess people were excited to see Ridley Scott back in the director's chair. They were excited to see something new sort of done with it. It's not just straight up scares. And they were excited to get answers, that were raised from the very first Alien movie. And let's be honest, the Alien movies never really answered where these things came from or what that ship was and so forth. So I think people were excited about that. I bring this up because if you're one of those people that was really hyped for those reasons, chances are you're going to kind of be disappointed. This is sort of I don't like using this comparison, but it's the only one I can really think of. This is sort of like the Lost of the Alien franchise, in that it's pretty much promising you these answers, and it's really building it up, and it's promising you that the answers they're going to give you are really smart and really good and going to deliver. And they only answer a handful of things, and what they do deliver on is only so okay. It's sort of very basic and very vague, and the other stuff that they don't answer, they're most likely building up for a sequel. And that is very frustrating. I say this as someone who was not hyped. The movie, when it began, got me hyped. It sucked me into this world, and that is what's good about the movie, is that it does love the world it's in, and you love being in this world, and you love the designs, and you love how huge everything is, and you love the technology, and you love seeing people do the stuff with the technology. It's sort of like a Miyazaki film. You love seeing people work with this stuff. But outside of that, there's a few good things. Some of the characters are memorable, and you do like them, but many of them are just there to die. It goes back to a lot of the same horror mistakes that people make in, sci-fi / horror films. So without giving away too many spoilers, the summary of the film is that there's apparently these from every primitive dialect or whatever in ancient civilization. There's these drawings, there's these images that keep reappearing, and they think it came from a source from far away, the great beyond. Well, this ship has finally discovered it, and they can travel to it. And of course, nobody else knows about it because it's top secret, blah, blah, blah. So they bring along, scientists and a little bit of military and so forth to go and see what's out there. And they come across basically this, I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying it's a ship. They come across this ship that sort of looks like this alien craft, and they're just looking around the ship, seeing what's on there. And that's the basic summary, again, without giving away too much. So comparing this with, like, the other Alien... just Alien and Aliens, that's the only thing I'm going to compare it to, because nobody cares about the other films. It does feel like an Alien movie. It starts off very much like an Alien movie, in that there's a lot of atmosphere to it, and, the android is great and very memorable, and, the captain is pretty memorable. Everyone else sort of falls into that Jurassic Park sort of category where it's like, oh, that's the funny one. Oh, that's the nerd. Oh, that's the bully. Oh, that's the romantic couple that says they're gonna be together forever. Guess what happens to one or both of them? And on the one hand, it's kind of nice to see, because you're just sort of having fun. Oh, this really feels like an Alien movie because of that. On the other hand, it gets a little frustrating because when they do just deliver with exactly what you know you're gonna get, you just get exactly what you know you're gonna get. But the joy of this film, like I said, is the world, is the technology. But I don't think it comes through enough that fans are really going to enjoy it. Unless you're excited to see more sequels. If you're like, oh, I want to see more. I want to see more of this story and these characters and stuff. Maybe you'll enjoy it, but these characters are not that new. And one of the strongest points to the Alien movies, I'd argue even sort of the bad ones, is you really remember the characters. You really remember these people. They're not just people who are going to die. You really remember these people, and you don't want to see them die. So many of these characters, I think I can remember, 3 or 4, that I liked and I wanted to see keep going. And that's not the case with the other Alien movies. Like I said, even sort of the bad ones. I remember Ron Perlman. I remember the guy in the wheelchair. I remember the guy with the cool voice from Alien 4. And of course that's a horrible movie. But I still sort of remember those guys. The guy was a great shot and blah, blah, blah. This one, I can count him on my hand, who I remember. Everyone else is just there to die. And that's a disappointment. Should talk a little bit about Charlize Theron in this. I think not only is she kind of miscast, she's supposed to be really tough and really the, we're going to do things my way. And you need like a Linda Hamilton or an Emma Thompson or someone that can really command authority. And she's not horrible, but I don't think she has that. There's a little bit of a twist in there with the guy who started this whole operation and stuff. It's not a very good, strong twist. And everything that pretty much it's been building up to just comes down to the most basic... It's such a basic... it's so disgustingly simple. But in the end, it's like, why is it so disgustingly simple? Let's venture forth and find out in Prometheus 2 and... Oh. For me, it was very frustrating, and I was someone who was not hyped. So my guess would be that if you are very hyped to see this movie and hyped to get some answers... Well, that's the key word, some answers. You'll get a few answers. Everything else is build up for another one. It's not like you can just go from this into Alien. That's not how it works. It's that you have to go from this and maybe a couple other films, however many they want, and then we'll go into Alien. My guess is that's going to piss off a lot of people, but maybe you'll be okay. I think the people who probably would like this are people who like getting sucked into this world. It is a very engaging, fun world. And they like the environment. People who don't mind sort of those Jurassic Park stereotype characters, because they are here and they're not too annoying. Some are, but it plays it okay. And throughout the majority of the film, you're invested. You do want to know what's going on, and you are sort of sucked into this mystery. And who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. So that is fun. But the payoff and the delivery, it's just not that interesting, and they are really building up that they're going to give you a good payoff. And they don't. Like I said, it's the most sort of primitive sci-fi bad guy gonna destroy everything. It's really a disappointment on that front. You really want them to give you something, but bottom line, it's very, very vague on the answers when they do give answers. So I guess that's the best I can really sum up here. Again, I haven't done a midnight showing, so it's like I haven't had time to really collect my thoughts too much. But am I glad I saw it? Yeah, because I do like this world, and I do sort of like the pacing. It's a good pacing, but I think for what the movie is promising, just from the beginning of the film, I'm not even talking about trailers, just from the beginning of the film, what the film is promising, it doesn't really deliver. And maybe years from now, they'll play the sequels and we'll say, oh, that's what that was, and now this makes sense. But even if that's the case, a lot of these characters are not very memorable. A few are, but like I said, for an alien film, directed by Ridley Scott, these are very forgettable people. You can't grab onto a lot of them. You can't sympathize with a lot of them. You can't even get into their motivations half the time. So I think that is a major problem, but like I said, I'm glad I saw it because I enjoy the mystery and I enjoy the world that they created. Anyone else looking for, like I said, answers, you're probably going to be disappointed. That's about the best I can deliver there. Like, I didn't hate the film. I had some good stuff. I think people are probably going to be let down a little bit by it. Or maybe not. If you go see it and you're okay with not getting all the answers, maybe you'll enjoy this okay, because it does have that alien feel, and I think people will like to sort of see that again. But, yeah, you've heard my 2 cents. I'm just going to be repeating myself by now. So, go check it out for yourself, or if you sound like you won't enjoy it, you might want to give it a skip. So, that's about it, and talk to you later.